Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll talk about operators in JavaScript. These operators are the essential building blocks for creating expression in the program, which allow us to perform various operations on data, like we can add numbers or we can compare two different values. Now these operators are the classified into two main different types. Like the first one, we have binary operator, which require two operand to perform operations, like we have x plus y, where x and y are the operand and plus sign is the operator which will perform addition on to these numbers. And the second, we have unary operator, which will require one single operand to perform operation, like we have negative x, where x is the operand and minus sign is the operator which will just negate the values. Now these operator again classify into different types basis on their operations. Like we have arithmetic operators, which will use to perform some mathematical operation, like we have addition operator, subtraction operator, multiplication operators, like etc. Okay. The second, we have comparison operator, which is simply used to compare two different values, like we have greater than operator, less than operator, or equal operator. Third, we have logical operator, in which we have logical and logical or operator. Okay, next we have bitwise operator, which perform the operation on the single bit of the values, in which we have bitwise and bitwise or operator. And last one, we have some special type of operators, like we have instance of operator or we have type of operator. Now we will cover all these type of operator in two different parts. Now in the first part or in today's video, we'll cover only arithmetic and comparison operator. Or in the next part, we'll cover remaining operators, like we have logical operator, bitwise operator, and some special type of operators. So we'll start with arithmetic operators. Now inside the arithmetic operator, the first one, we have addition operator, which is used to perform some basic addition, like we have log console log value. Now inside this log statement, I have single expression, like we have 3, then we have plus operator, and the second operand as 5. Now if I save and run the program, you see we have 8 as output. Now beside this expression, I'll make just simple comment that we just cover an addition operator. Okay, like in the future reference, it will help us to understand which operator we covered. Okay, we can also use variable instead of constant value, like we have x and y. Okay, x plus y, like I have variable called x which value as 5 and variable y which has value as 8. If I run the program, which is gives us 13 as output. Or we can also create a third variable, like we have z, and then we have addition expression, like we have x plus y. Then we use z value inside anywhere in the program. Okay, or we can also add, or if I try to add two strings using addition operator, this will gives me result as two concatenate strings, like we have first string as hello, then we have plus operator, and the second string as hello. Okay, now this will gives me the output as hello world as a single strings or concatenated strings. Even if we try to add a number to strings, like we have hello and then we have 23. Now JavaScript treat number as a strings and gives the result as concatenated strings, like we have hello 23. Even if the first argument is the number, like we have 23, okay, then we have hello. So again, it will just concatenate the strings. Now this is basic addition operator. Now we'll move to the subtraction operator. Okay, we just simply subtract second value from the first one, like we have y minus x, which will gives as 3 as output. We have subtraction. Okay, if I run the program, now we have 3 as output. Okay, now unlike the addition operator, we cannot subtract two strings. And if I try to subtract two strings, JavaScript gives the result as a not a number or simply nan. Next, we have multiplication operator, we just simply multiply the numbers, like we have x into y, which is gives as 40 as the result. Okay, the next we have division operator, we just simply divide the first number by second number, like we have y divided by x. Now this division operator gives the output in the floating point result, like we have 1.6 as output. If you want to require only integer part of the result, like we want to require only 1 as output, you can use parseInt or math.for function and pass this expression as an argument, like we have console log Then we have parse int and y divided by x as argument. If I save and run the program, now we have 1 as output. Now same as we can do this for math.floor, like we have math class, then we have floor. Okay, sorry, m should be capital. Now we have 1 as output. Now it's the same as division. We have a modulus operator which will give the remainder of the division. Like we have console log y mod x, which will give output as 3. Like we have value of y as 8. Now if I divide 8 with 5, division will be 1 and we have remaining value as 3. Now this remaining value is our output to the modulus operator. Or if I try to mod another value, like we have 4 mod 2, which will give output as 0, because when we divide 4 with a 2, now 2 will completely divide the 4 and we have remaining value as 0, which is our output. So here I'll just make comment as that modulus operator. Next we have exponential operator, like we have values as 2, then we have 2 multiplication symbol, and then we have a 3. Okay, now this will give output as a 2 raised to 3, or we can simply say 2 multiply 3 times. Now if I save and run the program, like we have 8 as output, which is called as exponential operator. And the next we have increment and decrement operator, which are the unary operators inside the JavaScript. Like we have x plus plus, which is called as post increment operator, and the same as we have also pre increment operator. Like we have first 2 addition operator or symbols, then we have egg operand, is called as pre increment operator. Now both this operand gives the result as x incremented by 1, like we have x, then we x plus 1. Like if I try to log the value, like we have variable called x as 5. Okay, now if I log this value, now this will give output as a 6. Now for the same, for the pre-increment, again it will give as 6 as output. Now the difference between these two variable, like we have variable z and then we have first post increment. Now what will happen is here, when we assign the value to the z, now z will becomes 5 and x will be 6. Like here the first x value will be assigned to z, that's why value of z will become 5, and in the next line x will become 6. If I try to log these both values, like we have z comma x, now you'll see we have result as 5 comma 6. And if I try to do this with a pre-increment, okay, now what will happen is the first x will be first x will be incremented to 6. Okay, and then it will assign to z, so z value also become 6. If I save and run the program, you see we have 6 as output. Now the same as pre-increment and post-increment, we have post-decrement and pre-decrement. Okay. Now this post-decrement and pre-decrement is the same as subtraction one value from the x, like we have x equal to x minus 1. Now if I log this post-decrement first, like we have x value as 5, now this will become a 4. Or for the same, we have pre-decrement, now this will again gives the result as 4. And now difference between these two variable, like we have variable called z, or if I try to use post-decrement first, now what will happen is here, first we have value of x will be assigned to z, so z value will become 5, and in the next line x will become 4. And if I log these values, like we have z comma x, we have 5 by 5 comma 4. And if I try to use decrement, like we have decrement, what will happen is here the x value, first x value will be decremented by 1, so x will become 4, and then it will assign to z, so z value will be 4. Both values output as of 4 4. Now these are the basic arithmetic operators. Now we can also combine these multiple arithmetic operators into single expression, like we have console log 2 plus 3 into 5. Now this will use as 17 as result, because when we first we calculate the result of multiplication, and then we add to this multiplication result. Now this is called as precedence of the operator, that multiplication operator har higher precedence than plus operator. So if you want to change the precedence, you can use parenthesis, like we can have 2 plus 3 inside the bracket, and then we have multiplication outside the bracket. So it will gives as 25 is as a result. Like first we calculated the addition 2 plus 3, and then we have multiplication like 5. Multiplication and division are higher precedence than plus and minus operator. You can also Google precedence chart of the JavaScript. Okay. Now we'll move to the next type of operator, which is called as comparison operator. Now this comparison operator used to compare two different values, and comparison operator always gives the result as a boolean value, or you can say a true and false value. Okay, now the inside the comparison operator, the first we have equal operator, which is used to check if the first value is equal to second value or not. Like we have 2, then we have equal operator, and then we have a second value. Now this will give a true as a result, because 2 is equal to 2. Okay, and if I use against a second value, like we have 5 or something like this, so it will give false as a result. Okay, I'll make comment as we just covered equal operator. If I use equal operator against a strings, like we have 2 and 2 as number, and here we have 2 a strings. Now this also gives as a true as a result, because when we use equal operator inside the JavaScript, it will not consider the type of the values. So it will consider number 2 and strings 2 are both equal. If you want to compare against the type of the values, you can use strict equal operator. Like we have 3 equal signs, which is called as strict equal operator. Now this will consider the type of the operators, like we have false as a result, like number 2 is not equal to string 2. Now we can also use equal to operator to compare the strings, like we have first strings as hello, and we have equal sign, then we have second strings. Now this will gives a true as a result, like hello is equal to the hello. Okay, the next we have not equal to operator. It will gives the true if the first value is not equal to second value, like we have 2, then we have exclamatory mark and equal sign, which is called as not equal to operator. And then we have second value, like we have 3. Now this will again gives a true value, because 2 is not equal to 3. If I run the program, you see we have true as output. Now if I use against 2 value, like we have 2 is not equal to 2, now this will gives as false value. Now if I try to again compare it to number 2 with a string 2, now this also gives as false value. It will consider number 2 and string 2 are equal values. Now if you want to check against type of the values, you can use strict not equal to operator. Now this will give as true value that number 2 is not equal to string 2, which is called as strict not equal to operator. Now same as we can also compare two string using not equal to operator, like we have hello and second string is as 2. Now if I save and run the program, now this will give as true as output, because hello and string 2 are not equal. Okay, the next we have greater than operator, which will just give the value as true if the first value is greater than the second value, like we have 3 is greater than 2, which is called as greater than operator. Now this will gives a true value because 3 is greater than true. Or if I use 3 is greater than 5, now this will gives as false as value because 3 is not greater than 5. Or even if 3 is not greater than 3, so it will also gives as result as false. If you want to check against the, or if you want to check if the values is greater than or equal to 3 or not, we can use greater than equal to operator. Okay, now this will gives as a true result. Okay, even if the 3 is not greater than 3 but is 3 is equal to 3, so it will gives output as a true. Or if we can also compare the strings using greater than operator, like we have first strings as a and the second string as b. Now this will gives as false as a result. Okay, like b is greater than a. And inside the JavaScript, when we compare strings using greater than symbol, it will consider its alphabetical order. So if I compare 20 and with 5, now this will also gives result as false. Alphabetically 2 will come before the 5. And next we have less than operator. If it will check the first value is less than the second value, like we have 2 less than 5. Now this will gives a true as result, which is called as less than operator. Okay, like 2 always less than 5, so it will gives result as true. If I use 2 is less than 1, now this will give a false value because 2 is not less than 1. Or even if I use 2 less than 2, it will also gives as false as a result because 2 is not less than 2. If you want to check if the value is less than or equal to 2, we can use less than equal to operator. Now this will gives as true as output, which is called as less than equal to operator. Now with this we again compare strings, like we have console log first string as a and less than operator, and then we have b operator. Now this will gives as true result, like we have a always less than b. Now unlike arithmetic operators, we cannot combine the comparison operator into single operations, like we have 3, then we have 4, and then we have 2. Now this will gives as true as output even if 4 is not less than 2. Here what happen is, when we compare 3 is greater than 4, now this result gives as true. And next we compare true with a 2. Now these are the boolean value and a 2 value. Now boolean value true is always less than 2, so the output will gives as true as a result. If you want to combine different comparison operator, we have to use logical operators. We'll see logical operator in the next video. So if you like this video, you can like, share and subscribe the video. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video.